Hello, CEO teachers, and welcome back to our podcast. I'm so happy that you're here today to talk about some of my top tips for marketing in the summertime as it relates to teachers. Thank you so much for being here. I'm just getting back from Austin, Texas, and I went to the Kajabi conference. I had so much fun getting to present on a panel for the VIP day, and it sparked my creativity again. It got me really excited about what's to come for the future of the CEO teacher. If you haven't already, check out our brand refresh at CaseyMorris.com. We have an entirely different look. You should see that wherever you get your podcast as well. You can see our new branding, and we're just so happy to be able to share that with you as it's been months and months in the making. Before we get into today's show, I would like to hit you with a little ask. If you have time in your busy schedule, now that you're on summer vacation, I would be so grateful if you could leave a review for the CEO Teacher podcast. It's how more teachers get to find us. So wherever you're listening, on Apple, on Spotify, from your computer, I'd be more than honored to have you leave a review for the CEO Teacher podcast. Bob Frandy said, not enough talk about the importance of brand in email. Customers don't sign up for email, they sign up for your brand. And David Newman said, email has an ability many channels don't, creating valuable personal touches at scale. So stick around. You don't want to miss our top tips for teacher marketing this summer. And I'll see you in today's show. I remember hearing about how important email was, and I started gathering email addresses back in 2014. I started speaking all around Georgia and around the southeastern United States to different schools and different districts, usually about technology, as my master's was in instructional technology. But as I started creating TPT products, I fell in love with the process of teaching other teachers in elementary school or in middle school the importance of English and language arts, especially as it relates to interactive notebooks. And I started working for GPTV and the Georgia Department of Education, and I got to go around to these different schools and really share about why interactive notebooks changed so much for my students. And I fell in love with it. But I kept hearing that in order to have a business, you had to have an email list. And I was just speaking to school districts. I was loving the process. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know how I was going to email them. I didn't have a place to even input emails besides an Excel spreadsheet. So every single time that I went to speak to schools, I would bring a legal pad, the yellow one that you can rip off. And I would ask people to put down their email addresses, and I would send them the contents of what we had chatted about in that presentation, so they didn't have to take notes if they didn't want to their email directly. And then I would just check in on them, and I would keep up with them. And so that's actually not how you're supposed to get emails. It's not. I don't think it's illegal in 2023, but that was how I began my email list back in the day. And when I first launched my product or service, I had 12,000 people on my email list, which was insane to think that over time, over 5 years, that I had the opportunity to speak to about that many people. And I had hand put each of those emails, pretty much, maybe a couple hundred were from TPT and my blog, but for the most part, those were paper to pencil emails. And I did check in on those people. I had them all on an Excel spreadsheet. I got ConvertKit, which was at the time the easiest, most inexpensive way for me to email people. But I want to share what I shared on stage at Kajabi this past week in Austin, Texas. I told them that I like to give little phrases people can grab and it sticks. And one of the phrases that I gave on stage was, the more you give, the more you get. And I live and die by that. I believe, I've said that a lot lately in the podcast. Forgive me. I'm going to find a new phrase. So the more you give, the more you get. And I took that with me when I started to email these people and gave them everything I chatted about in my presentation. But then I also started giving them a lot of value. Now, I don't just mean give people free stuff. That's not what I mean. I mean, give people love. Begin to nurture people. Begin to show them that you are a real person, that you have a real face, that you are who you say you are. Our number one core value here at CEO Teacher is be a good human, be good to all people. And remember that as you're writing emails, you are not a robot. You are not artificial intelligence. You are a real human. You may be a mom. You may be a first grade teacher. You may like to CrossFit. You may like to get in your RV. You may like to read books. But whatever it is that makes you you, I want you to start sharing that. That is my top tip for teacher marketing in the summer, but also overall when it comes to business. Marketing to teachers through social media, through email, and word of mouth are the top 3 ways that you can reach your audience. I want to say that again. Marketing to teachers through social media, email, and word of mouth are the top 3 ways that you can reach your audience. I share a lot about word of mouth marketing because I don't believe that people teach that anymore, and I still think it is one of our greatest assets. I'm so sorry I'm hitting you with all the story times, but I had such a great time in Austin. So I'm in Austin, Texas, and my husband and I decided to go to Franklin's Barbecue, which if you haven't heard is one of the best barbecue places in the United States, if not the entire world. Now that I've eaten there, I can say that. But my husband and I are foodies, diehard foodies. We loved Anthony Bourdain, rest in peace. We watched the cooking channel. Like some people watch Golden Girls. It's always on in the background. At my house, it's either diners, drive-ins, and dives, or it is something related to cooking. We love it. I love Simon's Outdoor Grill Adventures. We love Gordon Ramsay. We're into everything, okay? So we go to Franklin's, which is a great barbecue spot in Austin, Texas. But the kicker here is that you got to get in line early. People start lining up for Franklin's 6, 7 a.m., 6 days a week. And so my husband and I knew we wanted to go. I think it was a Wednesday that we decided to go do this. And we were going to get up at 7. However, we ended up sleeping in and we didn't get there till 9. And I was so nervous because I didn't think we were going to be able to get any brisket, which is what I was there for. And we get in line and lo and behold, even the workers said, we haven't seen the line this short in a very long time. So it's like 9:30 at this time by the time we get an Uber there. And we sit down next to this gentleman and we don't really socialize with him. My husband and I are talking back and forth. And the lady comes to take our order and he asked us to go first and I asked him to go first. And instantly I could tell that he had something interesting about him. He asked a lot of questions to us after this. And I said, look, I'm normally the one asking questions. Like, I'm not used to this. So tell us a little bit about you. And then come to find out, he was the co-creator of Tecovas, which is a boot company. If you're not familiar, my husband is a boot fan, a huge boot obsession. And my husband said, dude, I love your ostrich skin boots. And he was like, really? You know about boots? And my husband was like, yes, I love boots. Here are all the boots that I have. And he said, well, I co-founded Tecovas. And we were like, oh, no big deal. And we learned all about Tecovas and we learned all about all of his other business adventures. You know, I was nerding out. I had 3 hours. I got to drink a beer and hang out with the co-founder of Tecovas absolutely for free as I waited on the most amazing brisket of my life. It was amazing. But I tell you that story because now I just shared with you about my new favorite boot company that I will always buy for my kids, for my husband, for my dad. This is a boot company that I am a fan for of life. And what I just told you was a story about me going to Franklin's and eating barbecue and meeting a guy named Brandon, who was the co-founder of Tecovas. And that is word of mouth marketing. He shared with me his life story. I am obsessed with all the things marketing that he shared. And in return, I'm telling you about this cool story because word of mouth marketing is still in 2023 one of the most valuable assets that we have as human beings. And don't ever forget the power of that. I hope that you share about me when you're standing in line with your teacher friends going to get lunch, because that is to me more valuable than any type of paid advertising that I could have. 84% of teachers prefer to hear about teacher offers from other educators. Teachers are 50% more likely to be moved by an email promotion than any other audience because we are good people. We really read what we get and we feel led to buy things if they're from good people. 3 out of 5 teachers find out about other teacher programs from brand emails. And if you want to market your products to an entire school, try reaching out to specific leadership teams, administration, district supervisors, and business managers. If you're looking to showcase offers for specific subject areas, you can market to the department head or the grade level that supports that specific subject. And beyond just sharing information about your product, give teachers something that they can actually use. And I don't just mean free resources, as I touched on before. I mean, something of substantial value that solves a problem that your audience is having specifically. So here are some action tips that you can take with you for your teacher marketing in the summer. First, give your brand a refresh. We've recently done this here, as I mentioned before. Update your website with the most popular post pinned to the top. If your posts are more than a few years old, friends, it's time to revamp them, republish them. I don't want you reinventing the wheel. Instead, find out where people are finding you and do more of that. I know that we have one main blog post that drives the majority of our traffic. And so we went back and overhauled it. And we had become like fifth in the line on Google search for that one post. And now we're back to number one because we're going to be refreshing it. We're going to make it the best because if thousands of people find me every month from that specific blog post, I want to be the number one resource that they find for that topic. You can run an Ubersuggest audit. If you're in our membership, you know all about that. Next is don't forget when you update a post to share it on social media with your email attached to it. Like send us an email, support@theceoteacher.com, or go ahead and join our email list. Long form content should always be repurposed as needed for social media or any other form of media. On social media, as I mentioned before, pin your top posts and update your bio to be clear on how you serve and create a guide to show teachers exactly what you do to help reach them in all their different avenues. We've recently taken a little bit of a shift to where our brand was me focused. It was Casey this, Casey that, to now it's becoming more CEO teacher focused. We really want all of you to see the success stories of all of our students. Maybe you haven't seen them just yet, but we have a lot of success stories now on our website. Guides are underutilized on Instagram. If you're not understanding what I'm talking about, guides are a culmination of your tips or tricks that you can piece together in your Instagram feed. There are 5 ways to streamline this. For example, you could use 5 ways to streamline your literacy centers, or 3 ways that someone can work with you if you're an online coach. Create a guide post that shows your audience the steps to take and create that guide with short captions and, of course, as always, a call to action. Update your highlights section and streamline that content so that people can help you find an amazing transformation. If you're listening to this in real time, you may notice on my Instagram I haven't posted for about a week and a half, and that is because I lost my phone while I was in Austin, Texas, inside of an Uber, which was very tragic. I lost it on day 1. Thank goodness my husband was with me, so I have officially been 7, 8, 9 days without a phone because I couldn't put a claim in Texas because I wasn't able to pick up my phone from my home. You know, it's been good. It's been good for me. But if you're thinking, Casey, you're telling me all these tips and tricks and you haven't posted on social media in 2 weeks, you're right. That's because I can't. But thank God for 2-factor authentication, right? I can't log into Instagram, Facebook, nothing. It's completely locked me out. But at least I know my accounts are secure. Okay. Create a summer-themed offer. This is another tip that you could use, both free and paid. Maybe you have a virtual summer camp. Ooh, we love a good Christmas in July sale. Or let's celebrate the first day of summer. And there's also National Book Lovers Day, which if you're like me and you're a book lover, then you should check that out too. So you can find unique holidays that support your niche and play on that during the summer months. If your people are book lovers, they will love searching for the fun things that they could also be reading in the summertime. Another tip is that you could host a social media challenge. Maybe, hey, let's go back to school and organize our classroom, or plan your first 2 weeks back, or create a back to school lesson plan. We love challenges around here. They are exciting and they're really hot right now because they allow you to keep things short. We're talking 3 to 5 days max, and deliver amazing content through video, email, going live on Instagram or on TikTok. And then encourage your audience to participate. I love when we encourage our audience to participate, and our students do this too with their students. And it's cool to see that when they have something as an end result, they usually do really well with the challenges. They get excited about it and they participate a lot more when they're building something of value together. Another tip is that you can create marketing emails and ideas around summer-inspired activities like going to the county fair or the 4th of July fireworks, maybe beach days, camping, s'mores nights, or amusement parks. If you're creating email marketing funnels or ideas around summer inspire activities, make sure that your subject and preview lines, which is what people read before they click on the email, are very to the point, but also very engaging. Before summer is upon us, remind your audience to keep a lookout in their school emails for summer fun info. Here is a thing that not a lot of people realize is that many teachers subscribe to your email list using their school address, which a lot of them, and we can't blame them, don't check in the summertime. So you may have to remind them that something is coming. Inside your summer emails, you could offer ideas for what to do when they go to the county fair, and then talk about a resource that has the exact same theme that you could sell to them. Remember, value is first, value always, and then the sale comes later. You could also give tips and strategies for using a daily trip to the grocery store as a learning opportunity to keep children engaged. Emails should be value focused most often than not. And interestingly enough, people will open them and respond to them if you ask questions. We really base our email excitement on how many replies that we get. We have our team meetings and we're like, whoa, we got 17 replies today, or however many replies that we got from a specific email. And if we get a lot of interaction, then we want to do more of that because our business runs based on our customers. In mid to late summer, I want you to think about your audience's needs for back to school. Start getting them excited about how your resources can help them inside of their back to school season. You could use decor, parent resources, printables, just to make sure that you're helping remind them they're getting their child ready for blank grade. You could do admissions packets, hiring materials like resumes. You could have teacher PD and training. Summer is also a time to do a little bit of a cleanup with your email marketing. We like to clean up our email list and send emails that say, "Are you still with me?" and begin the process of deleting and removing inactive subscribers, because those inactive subscribers could affect your deliverability for years to come. Think about changing up the times that you send your emails. If your open rates have dropped, this could be because teachers are out for the summer. So you won't be able to please everyone, but if the majority of your emails are going out at 5 a.m. Monday morning, many teachers aren't going to open those in the summertime. And most importantly, if you haven't already started your email list, now is the perfect time to get those systems in place. And social media is a great place to start. Continue the conversation that you need inside of your emails by offering value, connecting with your people, and working on what we love best, the know, like, and trust factor. Email is the place to be in 2023. Thanks so much for listening, friends. As always, remember, the best is yet to come. I'll see you right here next Wednesday.